position, we have heels together, toes apart, standing tall, and our arms can either go low, this would be preparation, or we can bring our arms to first position right in front of our sternum as well. It's important to use your turnout, so one tip that I often give in class when students are finding their first is to start in parallel and then flex one foot and rotate each leg, placing them rotated in first, so that we don't force our turnout and put too much strain on our knees. So, first position, opening our arms and our feet, we come to second position, still standing nice and tall, rib cage closed and abs pulled in towards our spine and our heels forward. A common thing that we look for in second position is that we don't start to lose that turnout. So as you're working in second, think of pressing those heels forward as much as is natural without over rotating. So one more time, we have first position, second position. So when we start ballet class, our first combination is plies. Plie means to bend, and so it's our combination where we're stretching our calves. We usually start in first position and we'll bend and stretch, and the goal is to keep your shoulders right over your hips and your knees over that second toe without rolling forward. So in first position, we'll have our arm in preparation and we'll open and we'll do 2 plies in first. Plie and stretch, plie and stretch. Releve, rise and lower, releve, rise and lower. Grand plie is where we go all the way down. So think of like in an escalator or an elevator going straight down and up without leaning forward, and then we'll take one more releve and tendu and do the same thing in second position. Plie and stretch. We bend and stretch. Releve, rise and lower and rise and lower. Grand plie, our full plie in second position and up, releve and lower. We'll do the same thing in fifth, but I want to stop and point out that grand plie in second position, we keep our heels on the floor. So in first position, when we did grand plie, we went all the way down and our heels found the floor first before we stretched our knees. In second position, we maximize this bend, but we don't let our hips go lower than our knees. So it makes like a nice rooftop, and also we keep our heels on the floor. In fifth position, our outside leg will cross in front and we'll do the same pattern. Plie and stretch, plie and stretch, releve, rise and lower and rise and lower. Grand plie all the way down and stretch and up. And then for this combination today, we'll turn and go to the other side, always turning in towards the bar to get to the other leg. So one rule of thumb in ballet class is that we always start with the left hand on the bar. So in the clip, you'll be facing the same direction that I will be. And then we'll go into fifth position on the second side only. All right. We'll start for this combination in first position with our heels together and our toes apart. We'll take our arms from preparation and go through first and open them to second, and we'll tendu once in every direction, front side, back side. So we have tendu, stretch. So we have preparation, take the bar, tendu, stretch, and close in first. Side and close, tendu and close. Let's add plie and repeat. Tendu and close and side and close. Tendu back and close and plie and stretch. I'm going to do 3 sets of that with the music and then finish with just a releve in first position just to find my balance. One thing to keep in mind is that whenever we tendu, you want to lead with your heel forward, and as you close, think of sending your toes back. Ballet is all about turnout, so in that way, by sending our heel forward, our toes back when we close, we're maximizing that rotation and spiraling down our leg from the top of our hip all the way down to our toe. Especially as we go to the back, be careful that you don't lead with the heel, losing your turnout. We want to try to drop that heel down towards the floor so that we have that nice presentation in tendu derriere. So let's try it with our left hand on the bar, starting on the other side. So following the pattern of ballet class, the next combination would be tendus from fifth. So we'll take our outside leg and we'll cross it in front. Now technically, if we only come towards the middle of our foot, this would be third position. Fifth is crossing that heel all the way over to the toe. So depending on, for our beginners, how comfortable that feels, you can certainly take it from third position, which is kind of halfway through, or you can go all the way across to fifth position. So from fifth, we'll prepare and open our arm to the side, and we'll do 2 tendu in each position or en croix. So we have 7, 8, tendu, and close, and a stretch, and close, to the side, close in front, to the side, close and back, tendu, stretch, and close, tendu, stretch, and close, coupe, lift, plie, and we'll finish. So coupe means to cut, and it's passing our toe right by our ankle heel pressed forward, so be careful that it doesn't relax and sickle. So we're coming from the back, coupe, peel that foot off the floor, slight little lift as it comes to the front. We'll plie, and then we'll finish, and we'll go to the other side. For our next combination, I'm going to throw 3 words out there. So degage would be the next combination in our order of our ballet class. So we'll start from 5th position, but we're also going to use pique, which means to prick. So if you think of like a needle popping a balloon, it's a very sharp action off the floor with our toe. And we'll also go through our passe position, which means to pass. And that's where our toe comes up through the knee as we close either to the back or to the front. So from 5th position, we'll take our arms and we'll open, and we have 2 slow dégagés. So we disengage, it's like a tendu that comes just off the floor nice and stretched. So we have dégagé, dégagé, pique, pique, close, passe, same thing to the back. Dégagé and hold, dégagé and hold, and pique, pique, close, passe, close, front. Dégagé and hold, dégagé and hold, pique, off the floor, passe, close, back, dégagé, same thing to the back, and close, and pique, pique, close, passe, and we'll finish. So it's like drawing a half circle on the floor. and we work on keeping the working leg, the working knee, nice and stretched all the way through our arch and down through our toes without relaxing. And we also want to pull up with a straight leg as we pass through first. So we're just gonna do 8 rond de jambe, going front, side, back. We'll close back, and we'll do a port de bras forward, which is where we breathe and go down, nose to our knees, all the way forward. Stretching out our back. We'll reverse the circle action from our hip, rond de jambe, starting back, side, front. We'll do 8 rond de jambe reversing, and then from 5th position, we're just gonna take the smallest little cambrai back, just a little lift, and then come right back up. And the goal is just to keep our shoulders in line without pressing our pelvis forward. So, rond de jambe, left hand on the bar. Fondue, which means to melt. So we're going to start in 5th position, and it passes through our coupe close to our ankle and then extends. It can either go to the floor, 45, 90, or higher. So our first fondue combination with this class will just be fondue to the floor, fondue melt, off the floor, fondue, we'll take it en croix, to the floor, fondue, off the floor, to the back, fondue, to tendu, fondue, off the floor, brush, 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 and plie, sous, and balance. Trying to keep our shoulders pressed down and nice finish. So one more time, when we fondue, try to keep your hips nice and even. Try not to let the working hip get higher than the supporting hip. We peel our foot off the floor, both knees bend at the same time, and they stretch at the same time. And we'll go en croix before we cloche, back front, back front. do to the front, we then do to the side and then to the back, which in ballet we refer to as doing something en croix, or in the shape of a cross. So I tell my dancers, if you were dancing in the sand and you did a tendu to the front and then to the side and then to the back, with your supporting leg, you would be making the shape of a cross. So far our tendus have been en croix, our degages and piques, we actually didn't do en croix because we didn't do the side. Our fondues we did en croix, but for our frappe, we're going to switch the pattern a little bit. And one of the things in ballet, in addition to learning vocabulary, alignment, muscle awareness, is also picking up combinations quickly. Oftentimes the teacher will only show it once, and so we're also training our brain to pick up choreography fast. So for frappe, we're going to start from 5th position. On the preparation, we tendu to the side and we bring our foot in flexed. Frappe means to strike. So we're brushing the floor with the ball of our foot and extending until it's nice and straight. Frappe is a warm-up jump to get ready for a lot of our small jumps in the center. So it's important to extend and stretch your muscles all the way and not only go at 50%. So from 5th, we have tendu, flex, frappe, strike, and strike, and strike, to pique, to the side, frappe, and strike, to pique. Lower the arm, and we alternate from back and front until we go a little faster for petit battement reverse. Frappe and a 2 and a 3, to pique. To the side and 2, and we strike, to pique. Lower the arm and alternate using the hinge of our knee and a faster for petit battement, and we'll finish. So no balance. Don't worry if your petit battement is not fast yet. The goal is to keep your femur as still as possible and use that hinge action of your knee to alternate from coupe devant to coupe derrière, or coupe front to coupe back. So we're trying not to twist in our upper thigh, just letting our lower leg do the action as much as possible. So let's start with our left hand on the bar for frappe. Start from 5th, and this is our big throw with our legs. So we'll take our arms from 1st to 2nd, and we have grand battement and close, grand battement and close, add the arm and close, plie and stretch. To the side, close back and the side, close front and the side, close back, plie. and stretch. Then we'll do the same thing to the back and the same thing to the side one more time. The goal is keep your abdominals engaged, so try to avoid from slouching or crunching every time that the leg goes up. It's also a big brush, so we don't let our foot flex and then point. It's actively pressing through the floor to disengage up off the surface. We are trying to keep our hips even when we go to the side without releasing the working hip. Truly, there are so many things that we're thinking about, but if we can think of our torso being nice and long and our legs being fully stretched, our ankles and toes being fully pointed, that's our goal for today. And we'll stick with it and make it better each time. So there you have our beginning ballet bar, an example that you can use to practice at home and get more familiar with the vocabulary. And we will link a video to some beginning combinations for center. And keep at it, be patient with yourself. Every time you take class, you'll get stronger. It'll come more naturally to your body. You're developing muscle memory. So thank you for joining us online, and we look forward to dancing with you again soon.